Hi, I'm Andrea. This is my discussion post for week 4 about mental health in middle childhood. Um, I don't think there was a whole lot very surprising in these articles. Maybe just the sheer volume of kids that could be diagnosed with a mental illness. I think the first article said 15 million, which is a lot. And I wonder if that has a lot to do with our increased knowledge, better diagnostic procedures. So that was kind of surprising. Do I think that schools have a responsibility to assess mental health? Like, yes and no. I mean, we're already asking so much of schools. If we as a society decide that's something that schools should do, they need to have the resources. Like the story about school nurses, they need the training, they need the funding to get the training, they need the staffing to deal with these issues, and they don't currently have that. I think a parent's willingness to work with the school is a big important part. Like, just speaking from personal experience in the last week, my son had previously been receiving services from the special education department because of some speech issues he had early on. He recently tested out of the program. He got the intervention that he needed, and his speech is improved to a point where he doesn't need the intervention anymore. And in talking with his therapist at his last meeting, they were talking about the number of parents that reject these kind of interventions because they fear this stigma that might go along with that. And so I think there needs to be a willingness to cooperate at the same time. I don't know that the schools can be completely held responsible. I mean, like I said, they don't have the staff or the training to deal with that. I do think they can, because of the amount of time they spend with kids, they might see things or notice things that they should absolutely communicate, or if they notice signs of abuse, report that to the authorities. But those kind of things are already in place. What else can be done to help address mental health issues in school-age children? I think it mostly comes down to access to mental health care, which is pretty difficult in this country, especially, in Chapter 9, they talk a lot about the effects of poverty on the health of children. And this is another area where poverty can affect kids' access to healthcare. Poverty also increases the chance of mental health issues. But yeah, I think it all comes down to access. The second thing we listened to, where they had a counselor, I forget what her exact title was, but she worked in the pediatrician's office. I thought that was an amazing thing, because I don't think a lot of parents would hesitate taking their kids to the pediatrician. They're there anyways all the time for various things. But in the article it said, if they just offer a referral, that might not get followed up on, but having someone helpful, in the office that can just step in after the pediatrician leaves, that can help a lot of things, and maybe get a lot of early intervention things going on to keep things from escalating. So yeah, just more access to healthcare, I think, is the biggest thing we can do to improve mental health of children. So that's all for this week. Thanks.